Hello, in this video we will show you how I implemented the suspension for the vehicle template project on Unreal Engine. I used Metasounds and the blueprint, but I will first explain the Metasound and the blueprint on another video. So first I will play it a little bit. These are smaller. Well, that's it basically. Okay, well, there are two Metasounds. One is very simple, it's just the quick sounds. And well, both Metasound sources have the input intensity and strength. Strength is like the main one that, well, determines how hard is the spring force, or well, I will explain that on the other video, but yes, it's like harder impact will be higher strength. The intensity, I just started it to lower down the level when the previous time that the sound played was too recent. So that's calculated on the blueprint, but yeah, I'm just lowering down if the Metasound is played too quickly, one after the other. So well, this is just playing the array, and the other one, the main one, the suspension, it has three arrays, like mid, soft, mid, and hard. And well, the strength, same, the strength that goes from 0 to 110 determines which sound, which array should play. Actually, on play, the three arrays are, the on play is connected to the three, but we have this new Metasound that will check if this array should play or not, because here we enter the minimum and the maximum value that should be when this array should be played. What I did is, I will explain more details now, but I am using the same node that I use for the engine, where you enter a crossfade for different arrays, for different loops, and this will, and you tell when the loops crossfade starts and ends, so it outputs the correct level for each array. Because there are some, depending on the strength, I want to play maybe the soft and the mid sounds at the same time, or the mids and the highs or hards. So I did something like this. This node, it has, it can take up to 6 loops or arrays, but well, in this case there are no loops, right? There are one shots, but what I'm doing is like this is the strength. So the soft will be the second, because if it's less than 3, like I don't want to hear anything. But if it's like, I think 3 is the minimum, I want to hear it soft. So I'm using this, and this is like the soft sounds. There's a range where we will hear soft and mids. It's what is called the second crossfade, and then the third crossfade is And on the third crossfade, it's where we hear mids and hard sounds, and then only the hard ones. And well, here we enter the values, right? The crossfade one starts at 5 up to from 3 to 5. Like from 5 to 6, we hear the full level, the soft sounds, and from 6 to 60, we hear both the mids and the lows, the soft sounds. And okay, let me see. Yeah, and here, which is the third crossfade, from 80 to 100, we hear both mids and highs and hard ones, and then only the hard sounds. So there's another video showing that. The other here, well, I said you can do this with 6 groups of sounds, but here I'm just using 3 right now. I could add more maybe, but yes, I will show it a little bit in case. And this is like this. Okay. Then also, if we could have, before I was playing the 3 loops, right? If I could connect the on play directly to the player, which is also something I already used before, just a random player. But I added this new node, which I also added it to the engine, and it's not on the video, that will check and only output a play if the strength is, it corresponds to this type of sounds of this array, right? We want, for instance, to play the hard sounds only if the strength is from 80 up to infinite, right? Well, so but it's 110, right? But we don't want to lower it down. I mean, there's no crossfade at the end. So, for instance, this one, from 6 to 100, we want to hear the mid sounds. So if the strength is like 4 and I play, it will not play. But if it's 19, you will see here it's playing like that. And well, this one too, right? The quiet, the soft ones should play only from 3 to 60, so the same. So this is like this. This node, it's an idea I got from an Air Wiggles talk. That it's a great talk. I will put the link in the description. Here you check. Well, you need to enter, of course, which is the minimum and the maximum value for this array. So it will check if the current strength is less than the minimum, it will stop or don't do anything. I mean, will not trigger play. But if it's not less than the minimum value and is greater, or even if it's false here, I mean, if it's greater than the minimum and not greater than the max value, it will trigger play, else it will trigger stop. So the stop is I use it for the engine. Right here is there are just one shots, so I'm just using this. Okay, so in this one it will just save one, because I mean, instead of playing 3, we will play 2 or maybe 1. There are, like, if the strength is 3, 4 or 110 or 103, we will play only 1 instead of 3 here. Okay, and I hope that was clear. And some here, yeah, just on the mid sounds, I added also low shelf filter that will, I mean, if the strength is higher, it will reduce a little bit less this band. It's a low shelf, so it will have more low end, but just a little bit. And well, yeah, here we get the level according to the strength. So even if the 3, I mean, here you get the values, for instance, for the level, right? I don't know, 50. Here it should play, I think, or 40. Yeah? Now, there should be an output for the second and the third, that are the low and the mids, and this one should be 0. See, 0. This one 0.8, and this one almost 0.2. Here, if I put like 4, yeah, there it should be 1. Almost. Oh no, because it has a crossfade. Like 5. Yeah, 5 is 1 and 0 here and 0 here. So it's just that. Just here it's just a low pass. Low pass. And here are the triggers. So much fun doing this part. Okay, this is to stop. So the Metasound stops after it ends playing. So these are, let me see, yeah, I have made this. These are the 3 on play triggers outputs, and these are the on finished. So each time, because we don't know how many sounds will play, how many players will play, could be 1 or 2. So here I count how many on play were and compare to the unfinished. Sorry. So if the amount is equal, it's true, the equal, it triggers unfinished, and it works. All right, so that's it. Just a little thing what I'm going to show on the other video. It is what I did is I used the spring force from the vehicle movement component, and what I did to calculate, I mean, the strength is not the spring force. I wanted to be, just because I had the idea to calculate the peaks, the positive and negative peaks. So in the positive peak, or well, one frame after the positive peak, when we know that it was a positive peak or negative, like in the positive, it will play a sound, a suspension, this with the one that has the low, mid, and high, it will play that. And on the negative, it will play the other, the squeak sound. So the value used for the strength is the how much I calculated how much was the increase of the spring force, the value, like the difference between the max and the minimum, since it started increasing, how much was, and divided it by the amount of time it took to increase. So if it took less time, the value will be higher. If it took more time to increase, the value will be lower because I divided the spring force accumulated in the curve divided by the time. So, well, that's it. That's the strength. And same for the minimum. I don't know, I did this graphic just to see if it was making sense, the values. Also, I'm just considering not this, if it's over, for instance, if it's decreasing or increasing only on positive values, I'm not considering anything there. It should be from negative to positive or from positive to negative to be considered. And well, I will show you the blueprint on the next video. Thank you.